Peace, family. It's your boy King Rock coming to you from the west side of the pyramid. Yeah, I know I haven't seen you guys in a long time. God bless you, man. Shalom. Ashe. Assalamu alaikum. I miss my family. You know, I've been out there in the streets, man, trying to make sure I get it together for my family and stuff. Got to keep that hustle going, you know what I'm saying? So, just want to drop in and let you know that I still want to bring this knowledge to you, man, and not just true knowledge to the family, you know. And we're gonna keep this thing moving, right? With our Black City plan, man, the 2020 Civil Rights Movement. That's what's going on, right? So we want to stay on top of that, man. The 2020 Civil Rights Movement. This is not a Black Lives Matter movement. So a lot of us, man, are starting to get it twisted a little bit, man. Everybody's talking about, oh, they've taken over our movement. They've taken over the Black Lives Movement. It's not for Black people. You got to understand something, man. This is the 2020 Civil Rights Movement. So everybody fighting for some kind of civil rights. Gays and lesbians, Black people, Hispanic people, everybody, man. There are even some other people that are fighting to not be racist anymore. Tired of it. They're showing that they don't want to be racist anymore. You know, and we got all kinds of people walking with us, man. So you don't back away from it. It is called the 2020 Civil Rights Movement, and everybody fighting for some kind of civil rights, you know? So that being said, man, I want to give a couple shout outs, you know, out there still protesting in Oregon. They still going in Oregon. It's getting a lot more peaceful, man, but it's still going on in Oregon, man. You know, we got the wall of moms out there. We got the wall of vets out there, man, still putting it down, you know. Oh, I want to give a special get well soon. I hope this brother recover, man. Mr. Blck from Wisconsin. They shot that poor brother like 7 or 8 times in the back in front of his children, man. It was in the car. So, man, we still fighting this crap to this day, man. God speed with that brother, man. I hope he makes a recovery. I know he's in serious condition. He's in the hospital now, but he has not lost his life yet. So I'm hoping and praying, man, that brother pulled through. And, you know, so they out there. We got an elder out there, Najee Ali. Shout out to brother Najee Ali, our elder from the west side of the pyramid. You know, he on top of everything, man, too, man. He out there fighting for justice, man. Our elder put it down, man. I wish I could follow in his footsteps, man. Financially, I would be there too, man, if I could, you know. So God bless them brothers, man, you know. Also, we still fighting for Breonna Taylor, you know, out there in Kentucky. Sister got shot in her bed, sleep in her bed. And ain't nobody done nothing about it yet. But way to go, Grandmaster Jay and the NFAC, man, keeping their foot on them. Trying to keep the pedal to the metal out there and getting some results, man, for the Breonna Taylor thing, as well as keeping our warriors safe out there, man. Them brothers is really representing Godspeed with them gentlemen, you know, because, you know, you guys doing some serious stuff out there, man, playing with some serious toys, you know, playing with them agents like you're supposed to. You know, I'm appreciating everything that you guys are doing, you know, and hopefully that you guys even get stronger, okay? And hopefully you guys stay safe too, most important. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about, last time I talked to you guys, we were talking about self-educating and educating our family about our history, because if you know where you've been, then you'll know where you're going and how to move. So, and once you start looking into our history, it's so vast, it's so big. I mean, it's the most knowledge that you could possibly gain, man. I've been studying for about, I've been studying all my life. And thank God for my mother and father and my family, my uncle, Minister 6X, you know. We've been conscious my whole entire life, you know, and I've been on a thirst for knowledge of our history basically my whole entire life. But, you know, when I got out of college is when I really started picking up stuff about, you know, our history in particular. And my brother, my younger brother at the time, well, he took Africana Studies at Cal State Dominguez. So all of his books, you know, when he would get through with a semester, I would read them, and I kind of got started off with there. I read a ton of autobiographies, that were just so interesting to me. I thought they were the most interesting people, Frederick Douglass, Malcolm X, a lot of people along those lines, and so I wanted to talk a little bit about, educating ourselves and educating your family and making sure that you get this kind of knowledge to your children because they're not going to give this knowledge to them in schools. As far as the schools are concerned, you came from slaves and Martin Luther King, and maybe there's a guy named Malcolm X. That's about it. Other than that, they're not going to learn nothing about their true self, man. And if you're looking for the school to teach a young black man about being a true young black man, well, that's when you get rebellion from the young black man because the school's not teaching them, and then we're not teaching them at home. And so somebody lying to them, and I know one thing about kids, they know when they're getting lied to. And they know when you patronize them. So you got to bring true knowledge to our young babies, man, in order for us to grow on and to get out of this post-traumatic slave disorder that we are in right now anyway. Okay, so that they can see God in each other, and learn how to move like gods. Okay, that being said, man, shout out to all the teachers speaking truth to power, about starting the school year. The coronavirus, man, is crazy, and these agents are trying to murder us and our babies with the COVID-19. Facts. They know it's dangerous out there, man, and I would not put my child in jeopardy. He gonna stay at home and get some knowledge off the computer until we get this virus down to 100%, until we get it all squared away. And that's just it. I'm not playing games with my family and the life of my children. And that's just how it goes, man. So make sure that you make your own grown, educated decision about the health and welfare of your own family. Don't let the government do it. These agents don't care about us. They don't. So I got a couple of books that I got started with. One book that I think that everybody should have in their household is this book right here. Hopefully you can see it. The Confessions of Nat Turner. This is an awesome book. Okay? And this book is more of a psychological book to me than anything because, man, it kind of explains, this guy was a pastor and, the slave owner tried to make him pastor to the slaves about being good slaves, And so he would use it in order to really teach true knowledge, the way that the slave master couldn't understand it. And he brought a whole rebellion together. And one thing I want to tell people, rebellions, revolutions, movements, they're not pretty. I've never seen a pretty movement. I've never seen a kumbaya movement or revolution or rebellion. That means something's being done to a group of people, and they're willing to stand up, a group of minority people, to the society, and they're trying to stand up for injustice, and they ain't taking it no more. Whether you have tanks, whatever kind of weapons that majority people have, man, they not taking it anymore. That's what we're dealing with right now. Civil rights movement, 2020 civil rights movement. So anyway, this was a great book just to get your juices started psychologically about what was going on at that time and how they had to move, in those times in order to try to get their backs off the wall, man, when they had to free themselves, man. And it was a powerful thing. This guy was a martyr, for us. And great read, great book to read. I also have another book to read. It was called The War Against Population, right? This is more of an educated book by Jacqueline Caisson. She's an awesome author. And then I have The Arrogance of Race by George Fredrickson. This is also a good book, very, very strong read. Okay, and then I have this book here. Every black household should have this book. It's Destruction of the Black Civilization, right? Great Issues of Race from 4500 BC to 2000 AD, which is really close to this date right now, right? Very powerful information in this. It's by Chancellor Williams. By Chancellor Williams. Very good book, okay? And which leads me to go through something in here. Let's see. In this book, it talks about some of the things that Nick Cannon kind of got in trouble with a while back. Shout out to Nick Cannon. You know, people think that Nick Cannon is hiding somewhere and he's feeling shameful about what went on with this Jewish comment. But I'm here to tell you, man, that I think my brother's on a whole different level, man, a little deeper level. I think that they're trying to sabotage him for making this Dr. Sebe documentary about finishing it. And so I think my brother's gone underground, man, to get this thing completed without them trying to sabotage his name. I think the beginning of all this crap is these Jewish people trying to sabotage his name, man, because he's trying to bring truth to the Dr. Sebi documentary. You know, so shout out to Nick Cannon, man. Everybody, man, that's gonna be that's one of our elders, man. I got his back, man. I think he's doing a good job. So one thing he talked about is the Jewish people not really being Jewish, not really being Israelites. Okay, and so Chancellor Williams, from Chancellor Williams at the end of the 12th dynasty around 1786, there was a group of Asian, African, Northern Asian, African mixed people. Northern Asian, so not Southeast Asian, but Northern Asian, African mixed people, Asian and African. And they were called the Hyksos. Okay? And they entered Thebes, you know, in 1786, and actually melded with the Israelites that were already there. Okay, so we have a mixed people, and we have these African Israelites that were already in Egypt. And then the Hyksos came in, melded with them, and became even more melanated, because on the outskirts of Egypt is where the Hyksos were for years and years and years, populating with the Africans that were on the outskirts of Egypt until they, as a people, came into Egypt. Okay, so they were a melanated Asian group of people that came in with the Israelites that were there. It should be noted that the greatest Hebrew invasion of Egypt occurred about 600 years before Moses and the captivity. So this is before 600 years before you guys even had a Bible. The Israelites was in Egypt. Okay, and then the Hyksos came in and they took over Egypt for a couple hundred years. And then the black Egyptians came back. And when they came back, they threw the Hyksos out of Egypt. Okay, and then they went back into like an area like Palestine, right? But the Israelites remained in Egypt. They didn't kick the Israelites out. They kicked a lot of them out with the Hyksos, but what they did was they then took over and expanded Egypt all through Palestine, Israel, all of that area, Samaria. They took it all. And so all of that land was called Egypt. And there the Hyksos and the true Hebrew Israelites resided in Egypt, which was Africa. So the true Hebrew Israelites was in Africa 600 years before there was a Bible by Chancellor Williams. So I thought that was a very interesting thing to read, you know. So I have a bunch of great books. This is an awesome book too. This book here, When the World Was Black, right? The Untold History of the World's First Civilizations. And this is part one. Okay, this is an awesome book because this book has excerpts from many, many scholars. Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Chancellor Williams is in this book. Sheikh Anta Diop is in this book. This is a very, very fascinating book because it's written kind of like a encyclopedia or a dictionary of some sorts. Okay, and so it talks about how the whole world was populated from the beginning to the end. And I mean, it's got some very, very good sources in it. And it's a quotable book. All of these books are quotable. You can write papers or essays on with these books. Okay. But this book is an awesome book. And it's got like some pictures and everything in it as well. And it's got everything dated. So just want to go over a couple of things in this book. So in this book, it talks about the African diaspora during the migration periods. So after we left, how we populated the earth. And let me just let you in on a couple of secrets here. Okay. If you're from the Philippines or Fiji, New Guinea, the Indians of Brazil, Mexico, Ethiopia, Cambodia, the Australian Aboriginal, Hawaiian, Samoan, Tongan, Haitian, Cuban, all of the Andaman Islands. If you're a part of any of that, you are of African origin. You are my brother. And all the indigenous people on the earth, you are my brothers. And you have African origin, you have African DNA, and you also have African culture embedded in your culture. But it seems like nowadays we are fighting against one another. The agents have split us up. They split us up through religion. They split us up through culture, trying to make their culture think that it's more dominant than our culture. Our culture is weak, and we have such a strong culture, such a big culture, and we should all be united. Because we brothers, we got the same blood. We all brothers. There are agents that want to keep us apart. There are people who don't want us to know this. And religion is used as a form of separation. It was a way of life. We didn't have a book. It was a way of life. And we thought metaphysically. Okay, so there's some things in the Bible, there's some things in the Quran, there's some things in most all religions that are awesome things that we actually lived the way those things were written. But there are also things that are written in those books to separate us, to make you feel separate from your brother. And if anybody tell you science and religion don't go together, that's the biggest lie known to man. We are scientific people. We've always believed in science. We've always believed in science. So I want that to sit in with you, and understand where that's coming from. I want you to take a deep breath on that one and really think about it. All indigenous people of the world, if we could all come together like we're supposed to, like God really wants us to do. We are the children of God. We are the 12 tribes, all of that. Okay? And so whatever religion that you want to call yourself, you're that, because it's part of our African spirituality system anyway. So if you want to be a Muslim, you're my brother. Christian, you're my brother. Hebrew, you're my brother. Moor, you're my brother. We are all of them. We are not separated. And we have a right to have whatever religion we would like or no religion. And guess what? You my brother, and I see God in you. And hopefully you see God in me. Ashe? Okay. Also, family, last but not least thing, we gotta vote. We've got to vote, family. I'm hearing a lot of you guys going, our vote don't matter anyway, and if you're not doing nothing for me, then I'm not going to vote anyway because I want my vote to matter for something. That's all fine, but right now your vote don't matter for nothing because Donald Trump is in the White House. It has nothing to do with you. In order for your vote to matter for something, you have to elect someone. And then the person that you elect, then you can hold them accountable if they don't take care of business. So as much as it tastes like vinegar, as much as it sucks, I think Biden and Kamala Harris suck. I do. They got shitty records from 20, 25 years ago. They do. But got to vote them in. They're running on an agenda that is close to what we need to happen. Now, whether that agenda is a lie or not, that remains to be seen. But 45, he ain't running our agenda, bro. Not at all. Matter of fact, he's trying to COVID-19 murder your ass. So we got to be smart right here. This is not the time. We all got to come together and we got to get out there and we got to vote. Okay? It's just like taking the worst medicine that you ever had to take, but you got to take that goddamn medicine because you're going to feel better in the morning. All right? We got to vote Biden and Kamala in. Heck, it's 25 years ago anyway, you know. What was you doing 25 years ago? I know what I was doing 25 years ago, and it wasn't being the nicest guy in the world. I was a little wild out there. You guys know me, right? We all change is what I'm trying to say. We all change. I've done some great things in the last 20, 25 years. Maybe they've changed, maybe not, but they're running on an agenda that best suits us. And that's the agenda that we got to go with, man. We cannot go with the white nationalist agenda. Please believe me. So we got to get out there and we got to vote. And our vote don't count until we elect somebody in office, you know. And then once we elect somebody in office, what we got to do is we got to get another candidate ready in case these candidates don't work out. So we're going to vote this guy in office. And that's how you make your vote count. Also, we got to do it at the state and local areas. That's where the Black City Plan comes in. Shout out to Dr. Reggie Mabry. That's right. I'll be listening to y'all brothers on the East Coast, man. And I've studied it. It's an awesome plan. Okay, so we've got the mayor is the person that elects the chief of police. So if we want to police ourselves, then we have to elect the mayor to get in with our agenda. This also will help Black businesses and Black entrepreneurship. Okay, and then we got to start taking our little Black towns and little cities, and we got to make them fit our agenda. When I say Black city, I don't mean everybody Black, because everybody Black ain't about your agenda. Folks that love us and are working towards our agenda, we got to get them in. And if they don't work out, we hold their feet to the fire, be ready for the next person. And we got to keep that going. Okay, so we need some strong Black council members and people in the community leaders, and all of that, man. That's got to work. And then we got to support Black businesses and get us some Black banks going. Okay, and now we got to start doing things on the local level after we get these guys in office, and we got to start voting on the local level mostly and making our votes matter there in your local community. Okay, and if we all do that, next thing you know, the population's going to start looking just a little bit different around this place, right? In the local communities. So that's the beginning of the Black City Plan. I'll have more information on that at a later date. But I just wanted to come to you guys and give you guys a shout out. And remember all indigenous people of the world, man. If you're an indigenous person in the world, man, give your brothers a chance. Because we are brothers. we are to get connected. Okay? Insert your history, man. Back in the ancient civilization and the Mayan civilizations, we fought hand to hand with the Mayans against the Spaniards. The time that they got conquered is a time when we had left and went back to Africa. We still had communities there in South America. But majority of us had left and went back to Africa because we were doing a transatlantic trade path. So we've been trading with each other forever. Why do you think there's pyramids over here? And monuments like ours in Egypt. And we fought with y'all. So the agents got together and they made black and brown separate. And we're not separate. We're not separate. We fought side by side. You got to go back that far. And we've been fighting the same people, man. They gave 100,000 people, 100 million people smallpox and blankets. They gave us syphilis. We got to fight the right people. And that happens by expanding your knowledge. Expanding your knowledge. Expanding your knowledge. This is an awesome book right here. Out of Reader's Digest, but it gives you some great history through the eyes of Indians, how it all happened. Look at this book. Tell you about ancient Egyptian texts. Okay? These wasn't just crazy people with a bunch of thousand crazy gods. Also, Dr. Wade Noble's The Island of Memes. Let me give you a little excerpt. This is one of the last things I'm going to talk to you about, and then I'm going to get out of here. But let me give you a little excerpt about how we thought, our thought process in the Nile Valley. This is by Dr. Wade Nobles. What the ancient Africans of the Nile Valley, the Kemites, called the intelligence of the heart was in fact an intricate dialogue between the electromagnetic fields generated by the knowing cells in our hearts, minds, and bodies, and the electric magnetic energy fields in the world at large, and selected energy fields found in our particular experiences within time, place, and space. Let that sink in, man. We are scientific people, man. We already thought different, man. We were not spooky people. We didn't believe in some floating mystery thing that's floating out of the air. Whatever made the sun, that powerful thing, whatever nature that made nature, what a powerful being that is. What a powerful deity that is. And we bless it. And we bless the sun because we needed the sun to nurture us. Or we blessed the ocean because we needed the ocean to nurture us. Or we blessed the trees because we needed the trees to nurture us. It wasn't that we used those things as deities or anything like that. You got to expand your knowledge. Anyway, I love you. I'll be back. I'll be in them streets. I'm going to stay in those streets, man, with our warriors, trying to educate the people and giving true knowledge to the people. God bless you. I'll talk to you guys soon, okay? Peace and Black Power, family.